You're listening to eCommerce Fastlane, the podcast show to help you build, manage, grow, and scale a successful and thriving company. Powered by Shopify. Listen to real conversations with partners and subject matter experts as they share proven practical strategies, platforms, and the best Shopify apps to help you accelerate your business. The time is now for you to improve efficiencies, grow revenue, profit, and lifetime customer loyalty. Please welcome your host, startup founder, and strategic advisor, Steve Hutt.
Welcome back to another episode of eCommerce Fastlane. I'm your host, Steve Hutt, and today I'm thrilled to introduce my guest, Peter van der Westhuizen, and he is the Strategic Partnerships and Alliances Lead for North America at a company called Linnworks, Linnworks, Linnworks. Now, Peter brings a wealth of experience in e-commerce in this industry. He's played strategic roles in developing partnerships and really driving growth and innovation for a lot of commerce operating platforms. He's also has a lot of experience in multi-channel selling, a kind of marketplace integration, optimizing e-commerce operations for all types of businesses in all sizes. One of the great things about Linnworks, really, they've established themselves as the leading e-commerce automation platform. I've done some research kind of before recording. They really are empowering brands to kind of streamline their operations and help brands to sell across multiple channels, all seamlessly from one platform. The company really has experienced remarkable growth. They process over $9 billion worth of inventory alone. And really, they have tripled their enterprise footprint. So it's pretty impressive kind of the growth that Linnworks has experienced over the years. Today's episode, we're really going to explore kind of the evolving landscape of multi-channel selling. We're going to dive into some strategies for how to leverage kind of social commerce. Think about TikTok shops. It's a hot topic right now. We're kind of pre-BFCM, kind of pre-Q4. I think it's really important to talk about how Linnworks really is revolutionizing commerce, both the operations of a Shopify brand. I'm hoping that Peter will help us kind of share some insights in how to enhance customer lifetime value, how to optimize inventory management, like how to stay ahead of the competition. It's a highly competitive market. It's only going to get even crazier as we kind of move into Q4. I'm really particularly excited to hear Peter's thoughts on the future of commerce and kind of the operating system, and then how Linnworks really is positioning themselves really to meet the evolving needs of commerce brands today, but then moving into 2025 and beyond. So Peter, it's a pleasure to have you on eCommerce Fastlane. So to kick things off, could you share what initially drew you to the e-commerce industry, and how has your experience in strategic partnerships, how has it shaped your approach to your current role at Linnworks?
Thanks for having me, Steve. I'm thrilled to be here. You know, what initially got me started in the e-commerce industry is early in my career, I worked for Saucony and Under Armour, and during that time worked closely with smaller brick and mortar run specialty retail stores. And one of the biggest challenges they had, and this is a little over 7 years ago, was over really moving from a brick and mortar only business model and expanding to sort of an e-commerce business as well. And they really struggled with the complexity, and I was sort of passionate about helping them solve those problems. And that's really how I got started in e-commerce, in the e-commerce industry. And then kind of led me to my current role in strategic partnerships, and my experience there in how it pertains to Linnworks today. I really look at our partner ecosystem as an extension of our platform, just really focused on, and when I look at the partners that I form, I'm focused on, building new partnerships that enhance the platform, enhance the functionality of the Linnworks platform, just bring more features that our merchants can really utilize and access, and ultimately help them grow their businesses or drive operational efficiencies within their business. And whether that be international expansion that they want to really focus on, or expanding into multiple marketplaces, just making sure that we have the right partner solutions in place to help them succeed is really how I approach my current role at Linnworks today.
Now, Linnworks has made significant strides in the commerce automation space. So can you walk us through the inspiration behind the company and the unique value that the platform brings to the Shopify ecosystem?
The inspiration behind Linnworks was initially focused on driving efficiency for eBay. But during that time, quickly identified, there's an opportunity here to help merchants manage everything in one place. And that's where this idea around connected commerce ops as a platform was born. The platform centralizes various operations like inventory management, order processing, and marketplace connectivity across 100 plus channels, just really allowing merchants to streamline these processes and ensure that they can focus on running their businesses more efficiently, focusing on growth, customer satisfaction, without getting bogged down by the operational challenges that come with running an e-commerce business. So when I think of it in terms of unique value to the Shopify ecosystem, it's really facilitating that multi-channel selling and reaching your customers where they prefer to shop. You're providing a single source of truth for your inventory and orders, and really enhancing your growth and scalability through efficient management.
Now, multi-channel selling has become an increasingly important strategy for e-commerce brands. And so what are some of the key benefits and strategies for selling on multiple marketplaces? And then how does Linnworks support both of these initiatives?
Some of the benefits that I really like to focus on when it comes to multi-channel selling are being available where consumers want to engage with your brand. If you're present where they like to shop, they're more likely to buy where they are, right? And then the other part is just really acquiring new customers. Various channels have, customer acquisition opportunities that you can really leverage and really get discovered, and it can become a very viable revenue stream for your business. Linnworks really helps you automate all of that in the sense that you can manage all of your inventory and all of your channels in one place. And you can actually automate the listings element of the channel aspect as well, seamlessly pushing that data to multiple channels, all from the Linnworks platform.
Now, but social commerce is certainly on the rise right now. Think about TikTok shops. It's gaining like massive traction with our Gen Z and even alpha buyers that are out there now. So how can social selling complement a marketplace selling and a direct-to-consumer selling? And then what role does Linnworks play in integrating all of these channels?
Social selling is really a great opportunity for you to build your brand while making your products available to the end consumer. We use TikTok Shop as an example, which is a very Gen Z heavy platform, if you will. The reason TikTok Shop actually came to existence is because they discovered like 66% of Gen Zers were using TikTok to discover new products. And they're actually starting to use TikTok as a search engine as well to discover new products. So they saw an opportunity to, monetize that and create a marketplace, which is really a great opportunity for brands because they get to engage with their consumers in a way that they can't on traditional marketplaces, but then also utilize that as a viable channel where they can actually sell their products and goods. In terms of the role that Linnworks plays in integrating with these channels, it's really, again, managing that back-end operation so that you have the appropriate inventory ready and available on these various channels, especially if you do have sort of an influencer pick up on your products and all of a sudden there's a high need for a lot of inventory quickly being pushed to a channel, right? So being able to forecast that and have some visibility into how to manage some of that complexity.
As we all know, the e-commerce landscape is constantly evolving. And what emerging trends or technologies do you see kind of shaping the future of commerce operations? And how do you believe that Linnworks is preparing for and addressing these changes?
I think about the emerging trends or technologies I kind of see shaping the future. It really comes down to me, comes down to emerging channels, if you will, right? We see the impact that TikTok Shop has had on e-commerce with, specifically within a certain demographic. We start to see disruption from Shein and Temu, really coming into the marketplace, trying to take some share from Amazon. And it's really, these emerging channels that continue to evolve. And, for us at Linnworks, it's really how do we set our merchants up for success to remain present and then have the opportunity to, be available on these channels and manage the complexity that comes with, adding these additional channels and to really, take advantage of the momentum that they have and the customer base that they've acquired to drive some incremental revenue for them. We also focus on, making sure we have the right partner solutions and services partners or agency partners in place to help our merchants succeed and grow on these channels, right? There's not just a matter of, I'm going to just list my products on every channel with the same strategy and it's all going to sell well. There are going to be various strategies to implement within each of these different channels as well. And so making sure that they have the right, support either from the channel themselves directly and or from, our agency ecosystem to set them up for success is how we're really helping our merchants prepare to address the changes.
That's the part of the episode I love. I love hearing success stories of Shopify brands. And so hopefully I don't put you on the spot here, but it'd be great if we could hear a case study or a success story of a brand. Maybe they face some challenges and how Linnworks was able to, I guess, almost play a pivotal role in their growth or maybe the improved efficiencies because of access to the platform. I really would like to understand, what are the key factors of the Linnworks platform that really contributed to their success?
One of my favorite customer success stories that we have is just Action Figure Comics. They've actually been with us over 10 years. And during their time at Linnworks, they've grown their business 10 times as a result of the partnership that we have. So we're proud to showcase this one. But, the challenge they faced initially was, it was a brick and mortar location and they had an online store as well. But they were manually managing all of their inventory, and it led to a lot of human error, and it was really unsustainable for them. When something was sold in store, they had to go manually remove that listing from eBay, and a lot of times, just wasn't managed efficiently enough, and it caused overselling and led to some really unhappy customers. So they knew that they needed to make a change and automate things. And so, their owner, John, recognized that change had to take place. And he also analyzed the cost of the manual management and was looking for a solution that can help to reduce that cost, but also drive the operational efficiency that he was looking for. And that's where Linnworks was really able to help them to really sync their inventory across their point of sale, their Shopify store, and the marketplaces that they were selling on. So they implemented Linnworks, and in the first 2 weeks, they actually saw a 60% increase on their eBay sales. They're able to trust their employees to list their products on Amazon and eBay and not have to worry about overselling, because the system would actually alert them and tell them how much inventory they had and what they had available, and automatically make those changes for them. So it was a really, great use case, and one that kind of, speaks to the reason I started in e-commerce in the first place, as I sort of mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, around the complexities that, some of these online or brick and mortar stores face when they try to move online. This is the great success story that we're proud to showcase.
Now, we all know that Shopify has a basic kind of inventory system that's baked into their core operations, but we also know that inventory management, as a business starts to scale up, it's a critical aspect to their operations and the efficiencies of it. And so how does Linnworks help brands to optimize this inventory across these multiple channels we talked about? And what are some of the strategies you recommend for maintaining efficient stock levels?
Yeah, within our UI, we actually give you a consolidated view of all of your inventory wherever it is. We'll actually give you a view of your inventory by the individual warehouse location. In addition to that, you have the ability to view your inventory by 3PL if you're utilizing one, or by Amazon FBA and or Walmart fulfillment services, depending on how you have your business set up and where you're selling. So, the long short of it, regardless of where your inventory is held, you'll have good visibility into where it's stored and how much inventory you have by location. In terms of strategies to recommend, maintaining the efficient stock levels, we'll actually be able to assist you with our forecasting tool and help you dive into that demand forecasting, whether you are trying to plan for a promotion that you're going to run with your business, or whether you're actually just getting ready for some seasonality. Our forecasting tool will take a view of your sales over the last 12 months and really build out sort of a model that can help guide how you want to plan and efficiently stock your inventory within our system.
And we all know data is massively important for a business and actioning that data. And, with the increased importance of that, how does Linnworks help Shopify brands to leverage data to make some informed business decisions that really help drive their growth?
Oh, this is a great question, Steve. One of the main benefits of utilizing a platform like Linnworks is that all of your e-commerce data is in one place, right? All the data on all the channels that you're selling on, because you're managing that all from the Linnworks platform, is all available to you within our reports and insights dashboards. And so, it really allows you to track performance across these channels in real time. You also have the ability to create custom reporting to better understand your stock history over time, performance by day, or assess channel by fulfillment partners. It really allows our merchants to get all the facets of their business and understand all the facets of their business across all the channels that they're selling on.
Now we know BFCM, Black Friday Monday, and the Q4 holiday season literally is just around the corner. I mean, every time I go to my email, I'm always seeing a PDF, an ebook, a webinar, a blog post. Everybody's talking about Black Friday right now. It's an incredibly important kind of start of that holiday season. And so since you're kind of merchant facing and you're kind of like in the weeds, what are some of the top recommendations that you can say brands need to implement to be prepared and maybe, I guess, help execute a very successful BFCM and holiday season?
This is a great question, Steve. This Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the Q4 peak season is definitely coming and approaching very quickly. And frankly, we could almost do an entire podcast on just getting ready for holiday season. But ultimately, from a Linnworks standpoint, it comes down to, I would say, 3 core areas that I would focus on. The first would be sort of analyzing your data from past seasons, and then also having a clear strategy on what your expected growth is, right? And the combination of those two can really help you sort of build an inventory plan, right? And sort of inform your demand forecasting, making sure that you have that plan in place. Your suppliers are able to provide the inventory that you need to really hit those growth goals that you have for the season is the first key point that I would look at. The second part would be your channel strategy. Are you looking to onboard new channels? Do you have the right strategy and resources in place to effectively manage those channels from an automation standpoint, but also from a being successful on those channels standpoint, right? Do you have the right go-to-market strategy in place for the new channels that you're selling on to help you really generate the growth that you're looking for during peak? And the last part would be automation and optimization, right? You really want to automate as many of the workflows as possible and really reduce the amount of manual effort that you put into managing order processing within your e-commerce business. The more you automate, the less chance there is for human error, and the better chance you have of creating a seamless customer experience. Is ultimately so important during this peak, given the increase in volume. There's just a lot of room for error there. So you want to automate your workflows. With Linnworks, you can do that with our rules engine, just allowing you to create and automate many of the workflows within your order processing, while as you look to manage the peak holiday. And the last part would be the listing optimization, making sure your products are listed and the data is organized and optimized by the platforms that you're selling on. And definitely want to make sure that you have them structured in such a way that you can actually bulk edit the listings that you have, just again saving time during peak and making sure that those workflows are as optimized as possible.
Looking ahead to 2025, I can't believe I'm actually saying this now, and beyond for that matter, but what can Shopify brands expect from Linnworks, both in terms of new features or updates or any initiatives? I'm not asking for the public roadmap, but it'd be really nice to get warm and fuzzy about how you envision the platform kind of evolving for the needs of these e-commerce brands.
In 2025 and beyond, Shopify brands can expect to see an additional emphasis on product enhancement and marketplace expansion. We continue to focus on the trending marketplaces and making sure that we have those integrations in place, allowing our customer base to really have access to the places where their consumers are. And you also see a continued emphasis on our partner ecosystem and in the integrations that help our customers really run their businesses more efficiently with Linnworks. In terms of where I see us evolving in the future to really meet the needs of e-commerce businesses, I think an example would be, again, that marketplace focus, just making sure that we're keeping up and maintaining all of the key marketplace integrations that we do have, but also sourcing new ones. An example of that would be the Shein marketplace that's actually going to be launching on our platform in September, along with a couple of other ones that we can't really speak about yet, but really are excited to bring to market. And then I think a continued focus on broadening our product capabilities and just really focusing on improving our user experience, right? And then lastly, our product team just continues to explore innovative features that would enhance e-commerce management for Shopify brands as well.
So Peter, as with today's episode, are there any key insights or any kind of final thoughts that you would like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. In terms of some key insights and final thoughts on my end, I think it's really focusing on continuing to build that brand awareness, and keeping your customers happy is really what sets you apart. And then taking advantage of being available where your consumers want to engage with you. Right, having an omni-channel or multi-channel strategy can really massively increase your sales volume with the right strategy in place. But then also you're having the right e-commerce operations system in place to help you automate some of the back-end work required to be successful on these channels, and just allowing you to really focus on what you do well, and that's building your brand and really engaging with your consumers in a very meaningful way. And so I would just encourage the listeners to leverage a platform like Linnworks to just enhance the e-commerce strategy and drive growth.
All right. So what would you recommend as the next steps for listeners who want to learn more about Linnworks and they want to learn more about the platform and the processes that you have in place that really could help their e-com business?
For listeners interested in learning more about Linnworks, I would just encourage that they check out our website at linnworks.com. We have a resource center there with a ton of information that can help them better understand, how to be successful selling on multi-channel. We have case studies, there's a podcast. So there's a lot of really good information there. In addition, they can also find us through the Shopify App Store. We have 2 listings there under Linnworks and SKU Vault. And that'd be another way to really learn more about Linnworks and ultimately talk to one of our sales specialists to see if we're the right fit for them.
Well, Peter, once again, thanks so much for sharing your insights, your recommendations with our listeners today. I just appreciate your honesty and your transparency about really wanting to help businesses to kind of grow and scale. I just love what I've learned today about the fact that Linnworks really is an entire operating system that really helps from inventory and promotions and marketplaces. I just love the fact that it's all managed from one location. And I think that's really important. I think there's a lot of brands right now that have a lot of disparate systems and a lot of duct tape that's going on, that Linnworks kind of puts it all together into one platform and really helps businesses grow and scale from both their D2C site and as they work out into marketplaces and social selling. So pretty exciting. So once again, thanks so much for coming on the show. I wish you tremendous continued success.
Steve, thank you so much for having me on e-commerce Fastlane. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and you were a fantastic host. I hope the listeners enjoyed the conversation as much as I did and got some value out of the topics we discussed today. I wish you all the best as well. Take care.
Well, that's it for today's episode. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. This podcast really is all about helping you grow your Shopify store, and we bring the best minds in business to share their secrets so that you can take your brand to the next level. And every time you listen, you really are taking the steps towards building that amazing direct-to-consumer brand that I know you've been dreaming of. And it means the world to me that you've invested your time here. Your dedication to learning and growing is truly inspiring. And whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, remember that I'm here for you. I'm cheering for you every step of the way. Your success really is the heartbeat of this podcast, and we're here to support your Shopify journey in any capacity. So enjoy the rest of the week and keep thriving with Shopify.